this entire process has been very long, to say the least. We started working on the script in November of 2014. We shot during the summer of 2015, just because of school and everything. That was the easiest time to do it, when we'd all be free, have the most time. And the movie is coming out in May of 2016. So like we've literally been working on a 10-minute short film for like a year and a half. That's just like ridiculous. But you know, it's mainly because of school and everything and crazy stuff going on there. I made another short film, you know, in the post-production process of Bon Voyage. But yeah, it's just been long. I'm so happy to be done with it. Like we are actually done now. Almost. Feels good. Feels good.
It was fine. It got made. We're still friends. I think you have to learn when you're working with your friend to not treat them as your friend and treat them as your coworker or your partner or whatever, your collaborator. Yeah. You should cut most of that out. Like, pretty much everything except the last sentence needs to go. Because for real, if this ends up, like, if this goes online, he's gonna be so pissed at me.
Helped make an independent film that had a dark but very personal and kind of inspirational story about friendship and betrayal and the consequences of being selfish and trying to bury the past. The director and writer relationship, I mean, I'm not really the fucking writer anymore. I'm like the story by guy, but it was fine. It was like what it's like with Tyler. He has his control, and he has his vision, and he wants to make that. So I was very lenient when I was writing it, and I would show him, and then he'd say, okay, change this, add this, whatever. Like I said, that shit didn't turn out well, but then Keenan got on, and I guess he did the same thing with Keenan, and it turned out good. So yeah.
Well, again, Keenan argues with me over things, and then we laugh about it.
What do you mean you? I'm cutting it!
Well, I kept saying
Stop! This isn't your movie, it's our film!
I know.
I'm cutting it, I'm DIT. I'm telling you, I put a slate in there so I know what the fuck it is.
We have the slate. Look at the slate.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying.
I mean, he knows what he wants, for better or worse, and he wants to be sure he gets it, and if that means annoying you, angering you, depriving you of food, keeping you up late, coming in your room at times where he's not welcome, ignoring the fact that you have a life and a job and things to do and schoolwork, then yeah, he'll be sure to get it done, no matter what the cost.
Okay, I do not do a lot of takes. The most we did on set, I swear to God, was 10 for a shot, and that was rare. On average, it was about like 4 or 5. That's, you know, pretty normal. I just want every shot to be the best it can be, and I mean, if that's the complaint, I'll take it.
Well, I don't care. I'm the one determining whether or not to use it, not you.
Well, but if I don't like.
What are you doing here? What do you want?
I'm just. You said I don't even know what the shot is, so I'm coming to show you, tell you what the shot is. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I was doing a lot. I was directing and operating the camera, so I would be shooting it, and it would be great, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, that was cool. And then Keenan would yell at me, cut! Yell, say, cut!
You want to talk about resets? Let's talk about resets, okay. You know why resets fucking suck and they're an issue? Is because when you call reset 5 times on the same take, and it's a dialogue scene, you're giving notes in between, that ends up coming out to like a 3-minute clip of something that's a 20-second block of action, right? So then what I have to do is I have to go sync sound on that, and then I have to go in and find where it begins and ends 5 different times, as opposed to just doing 5 different takes and in and out.
I just forgot because I was lost in the moment. And we have it on screen, so that's what matters. We're doing an independent film, a few people. On a big film, I'd say cut, because I would have less to deal with. I just forgot sometimes.
It adds an extra step in post. It might save you, well, it doesn't save you time on set, but you might be delusional and think it saves you time on set. If that's the case, it saves you maybe, 2 minutes on set. It costs me 20 minutes in post, so it's not really a good trade-off. And just because our post schedule is like unlimited, and we released the movie a year after we started more or less filming it, doesn't mean that it's fine to waste my time and make things harder on me than they need to be. Tyler.
But the way you asked this question, man, makes it seem a lot worse than it is with me and Keenan. So Keenan, he likes to argue with me because I take it well, I guess. I'll just sit there and be like, okay, all right. But it's it's fun. It was a very fun film to make. We had a good time making it. And just being the 3 of us, it was obviously stressful at times, but we had as much time to do like whatever we wanted, so we just had fun with it.
He says the ridge is not as hard as on yours.
Here, let me show you what I don't know anything. I don't know anything about cars, so I was talking about this thing.
About the street.
Like the ridge on the
That's
side
like a quarter
here.
panel.
It's like
those are lines.
Goes along. It's like
it's aerodynamics.
what?
Put it through wind tunnels.
Arguments, funny arguments, nothing serious, just banter between Keenan and Tyler was probably one of the best things I've ever encountered in my entire life. Just because of the fact of, he would say something, Tyler, Keenan would come back with something else, and Steven and I and Nathan would just be kind of just sitting there, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but they look like husband and wife in a way, like Harold and Maude, some type of thing. It was awesome, and we had these little horns where we go pew 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 pew, almost like a showdown was gonna happen between the two. But then we'd come out laughing about it, and those two would come out laughing about it. I just think the chemistry that they have to get through this together. I want to see more of it. Sometimes I would love to drive here just to see that happen.
What was your relationship with the director?
Oh, he's such a pain in the ass.
Tyler.
It was actually very, very nurturing. Like, it was very easy to work with Tyler. I knew exactly what he wanted. He made it very clear, like, what he wanted for everything. And if we didn't get it, I knew we were going to do it again. Sometimes there'd be takes, and, like, in the middle of the take, like, my subconscious mind, like, okay, this is not going to be the last take.
He's funny. He's serious. I will say this. He's serious about his work. I can see his vision. And there's some things that I've seen where it might not be according to the book, and that is, in my opinion, the best way to kind of have your vision across. Because if you follow everything by the book all the time, then there's no creativity.
No, Tyler was a really nice guy to work with. I was impressed. He was on top of things. The communication was great. The email back and forth after he offered me the role throughout the summer. And communication's really big to me, so that always stands out. And it's like, okay, here's somebody that's on top of things.
He's very respectful, cordial, on time. So I have a lot of respect for him, especially with this film. So hopefully we do more work in the future.
I really like the barn scene. I just like the flow of the conversation. I like the way they interact with each other. I think it works very well. I don't know, I think less is more. I'm big on less is more.
What was funny about the barn? I feel like all sorts of like funny stuff happened at the barn. Like the barn for me, there was glass everywhere. There's glass everywhere. So much glass, like sharp, like stitches. Like you touch it, stitches, glass, everywhere that we had to overcome. But of course, Tyler was like, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. If you die, you die. It's whatever." But yeah, and it was real. I guess it had rained prior to, and it was very muddy and slippery, which is great when there's glass everywhere. So it was very. I found myself trying to maneuver and very conscientious of like, oh, I hope I don't die here on glass. But the barn was actually really, really cool. As you see in the film, like it provides an aesthetically pleasing like aspect to it. It's just like a cool location to be at. But my goodness, it was not safe by any means.
So he was like calling action for Keenan and then calling action for me. So he's like, Keenan, I'll call you for action, Sherm, I'll call you for action. I'm like, cool, I understood, right? Keenan, he's like, all right. He's like, sound speeding, camera is rolling. And he's like, Keenan, what? And he was like, action. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, he was so frustrated all the time with Tyler the whole day that when he actually just told him, hey, I'm gonna call your name for action, literally 2 minutes ago, he's like, all right, sound speeding, all right, camera rolling, all right, Keenan, what? He's like, no, he's like, oh, and you heard it in the camera. It was so.
We came up with a story over dinner one night. It was myself, Keenan, and Tommy who wrote the initial draft of the script. He came up with the story and everything. He was just like, what if there's like a body in a trunk? I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then we started developing it, and it turned into something much deeper, for me at least.
Well, me and Tyler, we sat down together in like February of first year of UNCSA, and we basically just started brainstorming some ideas for short films.
We sat in a little cafe down below our rooms, and we would just like run around there like acting out scenes and shots and everything. And Tommy actually came up with another movie called Hero, a short film that he did based on the same idea. We just took it in 2 different directions.
While I was writing my film, I basically took over as writer for his. So we wrote for like a month or 2, and he had a lot of control over it. As soon as we had a whole reading for the group, we have like Keenan and stuff, it didn't go so well. They did not like it, and I couldn't blame them. It was on dirt. Basically right then, like, Tyler's ass was like freaking out because he's about to shoot in like a month. I saw that in his eyes. That man was like dead. But then he got Keenan, and Keenan was able to write it because I was doing my film. I wasn't able to write it anymore. And it turned out pretty cool. Yeah, that was a pre-production process.
We just finished filming day 2. I'm not that tired. I exaggerate that. But I am very tired. We filmed in the creek. You'll see in the movie. It's, I guess, the second to last scene, technically, and the last scene with Jerome, or Isaac, pushing the suitcases over, and it was stressful and very tiring because we had to carry all this freaking equipment through the creek, and just, it feels shit to be done. I guess the main struggle was the final day of production, which was the big parking lot scene. We shot that in one day because the actor who plays the guy who shows up and tells them to get off, he was only available for one day, so we had to shoot that whole scene. We did 55 shots in like 7 hours plus lunch, and it was stressful. It was so hot. Oh my god. We just fought through it, and that was the most difficult day, but other than that, it was a pretty smooth production.
I like backing a character into a corner, applying pressure, and seeing what happens. And I think that's what happens to Isaac in the movie. He's kind of at his wit's end, he's stuck, he doesn't have anywhere to go or anything to do, and he's just kind of trying to claw his way out of the hole he's dug for himself. And I think that sort of thing is interesting.
And what fascinated me about it was the main character. The character makes one wrong decision, and that just snowballs into something greater that he can't do anything about. And it's about frustration and fear and, you know, just doing whatever it takes to get yourself out of a terrible, difficult situation.
The friendship between the two friends kind of has like he can't really get mad at him too much, but at the same time they know that they've been friends for a long time, so it's kind of hard to get mad at that particular person with such a dire situation. So it was very deep. That's why I liked it.
Dead body in a trunk. I like that dark shit. And then we started talking about kind of like, for the original thing, and I'm pretty sure it's still in there, it's the roommates, like, they're roommates and one of them overdoses because they're doing heroin and shit. I have a cousin who did heroin, so I kind of know some of the background of that and the kind of shit that can happen with it, and all the bad things that can happen as a consequence. So I guess it was kind of like a cool sort of personal touch on it in a way.
I watched a couple films on, I guess, well, drugs and heroin addicts and things like that to kind of get prepared to see their antics, how they react, how they talk, how they move, things like that. I felt like it would be necessary to watch that because I can't just, I felt like I couldn't just roll into it not knowing exactly their mannerisms and what they do.
Mark, like, for me, it was mainly like a pride thing for me, honestly. Like, I don't want to like seem like a weenie, but to me, Mark was, he's kind of a lot more vulnerable than I am, and I think preparing for that role, just I had to be open to not being in control and not being like the cool guy or whatever. Mark is very much just, I mean, he's Mark.
Describe the whole experience in one word.
Shit. Oh, no. That wasn't...
It was just fun, honestly. I mean, as an actor, I always have fun acting, but I think this was like probably like the first project I worked on where like all around I feel like, hey, like I was having like a really good time.
The one word would be surprising.
It was a lot of fun. I know the cast had a great time. We became really close. There was a lot of laughter on set.
Describe the experience in one word. Mental.
And as hard as it might be for Keenan to admit it, I know he had fun. I know he had fun. He's told me a few times.
I remember showing up there on Saturday, and it was just Tyler and Keenan. So you've got a two-man crew, and he had this like 50 shots planned for that day, and it's like, is this guy nuts or what? But you know, it turned out great. And then when he sent me a trailer, I was like, oh my God. You know, it looked like a 20-person crew as opposed to 2-person. So that just impressed me all the more.
Eccentric. Reason being is because it's something I haven't really done particularly like this before. I've shot film before. My brother is a screenwriter as well, but it's really just him and I, or maybe one other person, and it still comes out, you know, great professionally and everything like that. It's just this one was actually it has set, you know, slates, everything. So I haven't done that personally. So it was very different for me, and I know that it's going to be unique in a way, the way this movie is going to come out.
Anybody want water or anything? Everyone good?
I'm good, man.
Good. Are you filming now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say we're moving out. So we are moving out. What's wrong with Keenan over there? You
Keenan,
okay?
right? Keenan, you okay?
I trod on the boom pole.
You trying on the boom, what?
Nathan, I trod on the boom pole. Shut the camera off, Nathan.
Shut the camera off, Nathan. You stop making fun of my language.
The hip hoppers and real hip hop head now. The hip hoppers are like the real hip hoppers, like, and they give you the screw face. They're like, don't put this in.